Good afternoon, welcome back to T3. In today's show, we're going to be having a look at some very clever memory. Alrighty, so as I've hinted, we are going to be having a look at the Klevv Cras X RGB. Very interesting naming. It's a bit off tempo for most of the industry, and very on tempo as far as value goes within the industry, as we'll find out throughout this review. Firstly, going through the physical nature of the product, one of the first things I noted was the RAM is actually heavy, because the heat sinks on here are exceedingly beefy to the point that I do think overclocking and stuff, if you have the expertise, you should actually be pretty able to do so. It's not going to be a temperature issue, and the RGB does look absolutely fantastic. I really like the patterning that they've done on there, the smoothness of the LED, the brightness of the LED, and it's compatible with all of the AuraSync Mystic Light functionalities. But that's not even the best part. The best part is that this is XMP 2.0 compatible. So it's compatible on this system at 3200 megahertz with the click of a button, and without even having to click a button on my PC, because I swapped out from Corsair 3466 RGB to this set and the DOCP profile was unchanged. The BIOS didn't actually even give me an alert when I plugged it into my machine. And then if we look at the benchmark scores, we can see that in most cases it's comparable, if not better, in certain areas. And those areas are by the looks of things in gaming, which is really good. A little bit of better scores on Cinebench, fell behind a little bit here and there on the CPU in other benchmarks like in TimeSpy and that sort of stuff, but for the most part it was a dead heat. And the thing is, the price of this memory compared to the price of the Corsair is this is quite a lot cheaper. These are retailing for 1,800 Rand. Look, I bought my Corsair in the heat of the DDR4 pricing boom, and it was like 3,300 bucks, and that was even a good price for then. So this at 1,800 Rand with practically exactly the same performance is phenomenal. And if you're using a Ryzen platform that actually benefits quite readily from faster memory, then this should be ticking all of the boxes for you that you could ever imagine. And if it isn't, there's two other little bits and pieces that I want to draw your attention to at this point. Firstly, I kind of didn't have too many doubts that this was going to be a good product when I first picked up the box, because on the back of this packaging here, in the bottom left hand corner, it says over here, made in Taiwan. It was actually a bit of a running joke with my Taiwanese and Chinese friends back in high school days. MIT was always a thing. Made in Taiwan was always a sort of reference point, and they would say MIT for that, which we know is also the Michigan Institute of Technology. Just a little funny joke. But what's never funny about a Taiwanese brand is the amount of passion and pride that is put into a product because of the ancestral strength of componentry coming out of the region. Asus, MSI, and Gigabyte are all on one little tiny island off the coast of China. If you didn't know, well, now you do. Now, if you don't know, now you know. But that was the first thing that sort of made me go, okay, no, this is probably going to be legit. And then the second thing that sort of gave me an inkling that this was going to be good was the fact that right on the front of the package, they put a limited lifetime warranty on the RAM, which is synonymous in the industry these days with your Corsairs and your Kingstons and co. But an emerging RAM brand putting that on, it's definitely ballsy. And I think that with the quality of what I've seen here, with the regards to the heat sinks and the performance and the ease of use, is just indicative of how good of a product they've actually brought to market. So if you guys are looking for some high-speed 16 gig RAM goodness, then look no further than Klevv RGB. I've actually helped a friend of mine buy a set and put it in on his 2600 with a B350 PC mate, and it worked perfectly there as well. So if your system is a little bit older, if you've got a Z270 or an X370 motherboard from an older generation, it'll work on that as well, which is just absolutely fantastic. Thank you all so much for joining us here for that review today, and I'm going to basically be using this kit as our, well, it is on our test bench as our baseline. So when I do test GPUs and such, I will have exactly the same memory basically in this system and in the AMD system. So we'll get really nice benchmark scores to see how much the GPU can really account for maybe the shortfalls in the processor. But until then, we hope that you keep your lives ticking and your games wrecking. See you on the flip side.